Okay, here with Twistzz, Major number 9. Could you ask for a better birthday present than that?
No, honestly, the best birthday present. You know, it's not very often that I play officials on my birthday. The closest probably would have been last year at CAC, but it missed it by 1 day. Um, but yeah, as a birthday present, no, I felt loved the entire day so far. I wake up to nice messages. I got birthday cake from team and everything. The vibes have been amazing, and yeah, that's great.
Was it extra sweet to do it against Furia? Because obviously they were the ones that denied you last time, but then I think since then you're 4 in a row against them. What is it in the matchup against them that kind of gives you the edge, do you think?
Could be stylistic stuff. I feel very confident at them. But I obviously knew that they were going to be a tough opponent. They've been improving. They obviously had this run in IM Rio, so you cannot doubt them as a team. You need to prepare for them as if they can do the same that they did against Navi or how they played against Mouse before. But yeah, it felt great to beat them. And you know, the second we got a matchup against them, like people are saying like fucking Furia again. Every RMR playing Furia. I didn't experience that before. I only experienced that like the first RMR this year. But yeah, it felt good to win due to, I guess, the org rivalry, I guess.
And what is it like being an in-game leader this time round? Because obviously like 2 best of 1s day 1 and everything. Like, how different is it being the one kind of preparing all of this stuff?
I mean, it's very different. Sacrificing sleep and individual playing time to benefit everyone around you. And obviously, I'm still in the process of learning how everything is going, and every leader has to find their own way. And at the moment, I'm learning to let others help me a bit more, as in like Mither and our analyst, and kind of alleviate some of that. But yeah, so far the main thing that's being sacrificed is probably sleep, and that's about it. But yeah, it's different, in intense moments and stuff. People are, everyone's relying on you, and you can feel the nerves around others. And this time around, you cannot let it impact you in any way. But it's just like, having to remind the guys that, everything's fine. Just like breathe, don't stress about it. After Dust2, I was like, don't even fucking talk about Dust2. Just let it go. And we moved on and we reset like a good fucking team.
And I wanted to ask about, I think it was the world final, like exit interview, because you guys had a tough run of events, right? Playing all the best teams in the world, it's like every week. What was it like kind of having that week in Singapore to try and reset for this tournament? Because, like it is hard having a string of results, but at the same time you weren't playing similar opposition to what you might expect to play here, right? So what was the week like?
Honestly, very, very useful. That was like, we haven't had actual practice like that in a while, probably since the lineup debuted, to be completely honest. Before Singapore, our practice could have been a bit better if we didn't have to deal with some visa stuff. People having to go back home to their respective countries. Luckily for me, I was able to do mine in Europe. But having enough go back to Canada or whatever, visas take like easily a week away from your playing time, and you can only do so much with 170 ping. But yeah, this week of practice in Singapore made a big difference. Funny enough, I feel like our main partner buddy was Linvision. So unfortunately they could not qualify for the major. But yeah, I felt like we got decent practice in the region.
Was that important for Ultimate as well? Because he's kind of, when you're new to tier 1, it is difficult having the level of like scrutiny and study on you. What's kind of helped him bounce back at this event, do you think?
I would have to probably say like himself. I feel like he was very reflective. He works hard. He's very aware of himself. Even in his own interview, he's calling himself out for being lazy. That's the type of stuff that builds stars and superstars. And he's also he's looking for help, He's looking for others to assist him and kind of lead the way. And also it's on me and Mither to kind of give him the reinsurance that, take the lead, like take the handle. Like people can play around you. You have the only gun in the game where people have to play around you. And yeah, he's kind of learning a new kind of style where, he's finding his middle game, that he doesn't have to worry about always being aggressive, and he doesn't have to worry about being too passive. But yeah, I think more importantly, the second half on Inferno, I think that's probably why I'm so happy for him right now, because like not only did we qualify, but he had a bad like T-half under, I guess, some circumstances. Could be from my calling was catered a certain way for riflers, and yeah, he showed up big time, and I think that's huge for him.
And him being so aggressive, is it hard to try and find that middle ground without kind of, because you don't want to overcoach players like that, right? How is it trying to coach a player into kind of changing a little bit without affecting his actual overall play style?
Obviously, that type of stuff is always a fine line, because you never want to take away the originality of the player. That's why player styles exist in the first place. It was more so like making him realize, like, bro, just because you didn't get a 2K in the first and seconds of the round doesn't mean that you're useless. Like, that's not how the game is, right? And I think after that, and I've had many individual like one-on-ones with him, and you know, I guess bonding a bit more. It's been great. But obviously, I have to credit most of the work is probably himself doing it.
And now it's like 2.5 weeks. You get to practice for the European teams, like you said on broadcast. How important will these 2.5 weeks be in terms of setting you up for the major?
Just as important as it is for every other team that's going to be qualified. I think for us, it's actually good that we are not the last RMR. Definitely having more time, EU practice, get to fix mistakes, get the mental reset. But you know, there's ups and downs. People could also say that playing the last RMR group and going pretty much right into the major also has its benefits, right? So I guess it's just how the outlook is and how teams view it. But I think for us, this is a useful period.
And are you going to get that big arena match? Because, you know, this kind of, we're always nearly there. Is this the tournament to change that?
I think so. I mean, we had, and I guess a crowd, you know, in Malta, fucked up bad in Cologne. Should have had that one. But yeah, we're looking forward. It's going to be fun. Every stage is played with a crowd, but I definitely want the biggest crowd.